Drop it. Drop it.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Niner Beto with my boy Pete for another Tuesday evening 49er conversation, coming off a beautiful domination of some cowgirls. We sent them packing with their tail between their butt. They're all butthurt talking. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about Mr. 11, how he's so emotional because of the t-shirt that Kiddo was wearing. We're going to talk all about that right after this. All right. Had to close my window a little bit because the kids are playing in the back and we want to make sure we can hear. Pete, what's going on, brother? Did you see that game on Sunday night? Were you part of the world that was watching?
I had other plans. Like, I was kind of just, it was like, I caught the tail end. Like, no, I'm just kidding. Like, I watched the entire thing twice. And that's how beautiful that game was. And including commercials. That's how good that game was. It was just, I mean, you couldn't have written a script better. Like, really, for the 49ers in that game. It's just I don't think Kyle had to come off of his script at all. Like, I think it was just like it was more of a run through, a walkthrough than it was a game.
Yeah, exactly. It was a beautiful game, a statement. This whole game was anticipated all week long. People were talking about it. The Cowboy fans were talking their smack. The Cowboys were talking about this is, a game that they have to win and they have to kind of get over the hump, beat the Niners. They've been beaten by the Niners two years in a row, taken out of the playoffs. The Dallas Cowboys supposedly were prepared for this game. In fact, one of the media for the Cowboys apparently pissed off Dak Prescott when he was asked about last year's defeat in the playoffs. And he said, like, oh, you want to piss me off? Well, you succeeded. You pissed me off. How did that go, Dak? You still threw 3 interceptions, one more than last year. I imagine what you will be if you were not pissed off. I mean, this guy's a joke. The Niners dominated. The Niners sent him packing with their tails between their butt. It was a 42-10 spanking, Pete. It was a statement, but it was made by the true defense and the true offense. I want to throw this in real quick, and you can pick up from this, Pete. If there's still, I don't know why there would be, but if there's still doubters about Brock Purdy, shame on you. Yeah. Shame on you.
And they're out there.
And and they're out, exactly. They're out there.
They're out there.
And it's sad because what Brock Purdy did on Sunday night on national TV against that defense, whether that defense was playing to what is supposed to play at or they were playing below average, regardless, they are a fast defense, supposedly the number one defense, supposedly the biggest challenge to that point for Brock Purdy. And Brock Purdy did not just beat that team. He smashed it 42-10. People are like, Brock Purdy can't put 30 points on this defense. They were right. He didn't put 30. He put 42 on that defense, bro. I want to get your thoughts on Brock Purdy, and particularly this game against the Cowboys.
So first off, I need to apologize to Brock because I predicted the score would be 24-14 because I said that I thought I was giving a little bit of respect to the Cowboys defense because I thought that they were easily the best part of this team. And I am deeply sorry, Mr. Purdy, because I did not understand what you were working with. Clearly, I did not understand what you have between those ears. It is just the anticipation, the reads that he was making for him to make some of those throws. And I encourage everyone to watch the QB school breakdown of what happened in that game, and he breaks down every single major throw that Brock made. It's high level. It's high level. We weren't looking at a game manager. That's not a game manager does not make those types of throws. A game manager checks the ball down. The game manager, they has to hand the ball off a ton. They do not do what Brock Purdy did. Brock Purdy stole Dallas's soul just running this offense and running it to as efficiently as any quarterback that has ever played in it, including Matt Ryan. It doesn't matter who it is that you put in this offense. There is no person ever running this offense of Shanahan's that has run it better than Purdy. And he just annihilated him. He saw everything. He saw the field just open up for him. And it's like Michael Jordan when he was talking about when he gets in the zone and the basket looks like a big old bucket and that he could just do no wrong. Like even when he was missing, he wasn't putting the ball in harm's way. And it was just a beautiful thing to watch. I don't really have another word for it.
It was a clinic. It was execution. What I liked about Brock Purdy, I pretty much liked everything. But what I loved was when he threw that pass to Debo and it was holding. And it was brought back. Now we were facing 3rd and 14. We're like, darn, such a beautiful pass. And it was negated because of a penalty, right? Upset. Yeah. What did he do? Don't worry, faithful. I got you.
I'll get you 20. I'll get you 20.
He lofted it up, beautiful, right into Debo in stride, where Debo was able to get a few extra yards on top of it for a first down. The way that Brock Purdy played, the way he handled his business, we definitely got our quarterback of the future. I don't want to hear about his arm. I don't want to hear that he's not tall enough. Yeah, some balls got batted down. But you know what? Breeze got a lot of balls batted down. But at the end of the day, he did what he had to do to win games. And that's what Brock Purdy did. And he elevates Debo. He elevates Christian McCaffrey. He elevates Brandon Ayuk. Even Juice got the ball. And then Kittle, one thing I love about this team, Pete, is that Kittle hasn't touched the ball in a sense of a touchdown in the last 4 games. He's been blocking his ass off, working hard, not complaining, not murmuring, nothing. You don't hear nothing from him. And against the Cowboys, he was rewarded with not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdowns. And he was able to wear that shirt. And I want to get your comment on this real quick, and then we'll move on from it. The shirt that it said "F the Cowboys," he wore. Kittle's a funny guy. He loves doing things. Do you guys? I don't know. I'm gonna give you guys a little history for those who don't remember. But Gary Plummer, the linebacker that we picked up from San Diego, he was the original guy with that T-shirt that said "F the Cowboys" after a game. Kittle was just doing a tribute to Gary Plummer, but Micah Parson took it personal, and he went on his podcast and said, "Well, it seemed like I like Kittle's my boy, but he made it personal. Getting your ass whipped 2 times in the playoffs, that's not personal. When Greenlaw laid your tight end or whoever that player was, that wasn't personal. You're gonna wait for Kittle to show a T-shirt after the game and say that was personal, and smile, laugh now, but cry later. Listen, they called off the Dogs with 5 minutes towards the end, 5 minutes left in the third quarter. None of the starters played in the fourth quarter. They could have been much worse than 42, bro. We could have put 50 burger on these guys. So laugh now, cry later. My goodness. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the Kittle and then on the Micah Parsons saying that Kittle's making it personal?
Okay, so first off, he's young. I get it. He doesn't understand the bad blood that is in this rivalry. I don't think he understands it, because I said this on my show yesterday. I'm old. Okay, I'm 46. I was in high school the last time the 49ers won the Super Bowl. But I remember the fact that they sent us home 3 out of 4 years. 3 out of 4 of those years. And so I am always going to hate the Cowboys. It's always going to be F the Cowboys. And that is the difference between today's game and yesterday's game. And I feel like we always talk about Kittle is more of a throwback type of player. And I feel like that is the culture of this team. Is it's a throwback group. Like, they care about the game and the game only. It's not about me. It's not about doing podcasts, even though Fred Warner has one. And it's fantastic. You need to check it out. But it is, this team has an outstanding culture, full of leadership and heart, which is sorely lacking on the Cowboys. It's sorely lacking. They have no lead. Who's their leader? Who's the leader on that team? I didn't see any leadership in that game.
Nope.
And head coach, quarterback, Micah Parsons, the best, supposedly the runner-up for defensive player of the year, whatever. I see no leadership on that squad. There was no heart at all. And for you to come back and say and get emotional about him, you're gonna wait until the game is over to talk. Kittle is supposed to rub it in your face, just so you know. For the younger crowd, Kittle is supposed to rub it in your face after he's stepped on you and stepped on your neck and just choked you out. That's supposed to happen. I know that it's doesn't go in line with today's mentality, but I don't care. I love it. I love it. I love the vibe that this team puts off. If Micah Parsons doesn't like it, stop him from doing it. Do something about it.
That's right. That's what you got to
Do
do.
something about it. Don't whine. Don't cry. Talking about cry later. No, you're the one crying right now.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
do something about it. Stop them from getting past you.
Yeah, bro.
But that's how I felt about it. I think it's just typical whine crying, whine crying. Like it's typical from a team that has no culture, and I don't think we have to worry about that as 49er fans.
No, let's be honest, Pete. A true leader leads by example, especially in a defeat. When you win 42-10, you have the opportunity to talk your smack. Kiddo had 3 touchdowns. We kicked their ass 42-10. Kiddo had his right. He's young, like you said. It's a young culture. He expressed how he felt, but he backed it up by winning. Micah Parsons, you lost. You got your butt whipped. You are a non-factor in that game. I didn't even know you were playing in that game.
Yeah, you shouldn't even be talking.
Exactly. Let that fuel you. If it fuels you, fine. Let it fuel you. Prepare. Do what you got to do and bring it on. If the playoffs, if we meet you guys, if we meet you, bring it there. Let your body of work do its talking. But you're doing this, and we have beaten you the last 3 times. And then this last time, we send you home with 42 points. On your defense, you guys in 4 games have only given up 41 points, total points, in 4 games. We put 42 in 1 game. You have no point to talk. You look stupid talking about laugh now, cry later. What kind of threat is that? It's like me and Pete going down, beating up, and Pete just kicks the crap out of me. I mean, I am on the floor bleeding from everywhere. And I'm going to tell Pete, yeah, but next time I'm going to kick your...
Yeah.
What am I doing?
I'm going to kick you again.
You don't even have a scratch. You know what I mean? You don't even have a scratch. And I'm all, I'm all bruised up, and I'm going to sit there and tell you, but next time, Pete, like, shut up. And that's what a person had to do. Just, fine, you have a talk show, you have a podcast, we all do. Props for that. But, dude, but he is young, and I know it's emotions, and, sometimes maybe you shouldn't have a podcast when you're feeling emotional. Maybe you should relax, calm down, and then do it live.
It's a simple thing. Somebody needs to tap him on the shoulder and say, hey, bro, this is the time to just say, hey, good game. Y'all got us. Y'all got us. Hey, Kittle, put on that shirt. Hey, man, they got us.
Yeah.
There's nothing to say. They put it on us that day. And next time it might be a different story, but today they put it on us. He's got every right. So, and I'm going to go back and talk to my teammates about, we can't let this happen again.
Yeah.
And that could have been it. And nobody would have said anything.
No.
Nobody would have said anything. We would have respected it. But no, you had to get out here and start whining and crying. It's just silliness. The rest of his team was smart enough not to get on the mic.
No,
you should
and
have
they were
followed
even
suit.
mad about his comments right after the game about, before he went on his own show, when they interviewed him after the game, he's like, the score doesn't really dictate how we played. We played with them, and we're in the same level with the Niners. I'm like, you got your ass kicked 42-10 on national TV. At what level are you talking about? What are you talking about? Sometimes the best respond is no respond. Like Lewis said, back it up. Debo, I love Debo. Debo comes on Adam's show once a week, and I guess I haven't seen it, so I can't quote him, but something to the point where Debo responded and said, "Hey, bring it."
Yeah, he said it might be worse next time.
Yeah, and see, the Niners have beaten the Cowboys. Okay. The Niners can do their talks. Cowboys, I mean, you want to get offended, fine, but to say it was personal, what Kittle did because of the shirt. What about the beatdown? That wasn't personal.
Yeah. That's wild.
The two games that we took you out of the playoffs. What, that wasn't personal? If you're gonna allow this little T-shirt to get you offended, and now you're claiming that it was personal, dude, you got to check yourself because we already made it personal from day one. We don't like the Cowboys. Niners are not shy of saying the team they don't like. So enough of Parson. I want to ask you, bro, and I want to ask everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
Fred freaking Warner. All pro
That
Fred.
man.
Talk to me about
We about
him,
to
bro.
start calling him Hall of Famer Fred.
Talk
Like
to me,
this
bro.
this guy is an alien. Like he is everywhere all at once. And I mean, he's covering the guy, then he's over here punching the ball out on the next, and then somehow magically telekinesis keeping the ball in bounds away from everybody, and we end up recovering the ball. Then he's covering a guy, comes out of his coverage to sack the quarterback because he was just flinching towards the line of scrimmage. And the guy is he's just amazing. And he's covering wide receivers down the seam. Like it's silly. It's silly what Fred Warner gives this defense the ability to do. He is asked to do so much, and he comes through every single time. Does he? Of course. I mean, let's be real. Does he make mistakes? Everybody makes mistakes, but he's not perfect. But the man is
It's
as
pretty
close
damn
to
close.
perfect, is perfect, as close to perfect as possible for a human being to be. And the fact that he not only is he a great player, but he brings that vibe. He brings the vibe of this defense, and he brings the energy, and the energy isn't going to stop all game long. It's going to be an all game long thing. Like and he keeps his guys hype. I really believe Greenlaw is just a pit bull, and Fred Warner's holding the chain. Like it is just, he is unleashing this defense, and it really showed. It was almost like Steve Wilkes, like because I complained last week about the off coverage and everything. It was almost like Steve Wilkes said that for this game, y'all do your thing. Y'all do your thing. I'm not gonna mess up any of it. Yeah, Fred, let's just let him loose. And he just dominates, man. There's no other word for it. He just dominated the game. Dak didn't know what to do, where to go with the ball. He was afraid to even move.
Yeah.
So
He was. I mean, the way that he played, and then my boy, his for every Batman you got to have your Robin, right?
yeah,
My boy, 57,
Greenlaw.
Greenlaw. I gotta bring him up. Greenlaw, that guy can hit. That guy would smack you in the face. Man, he was all over the place. I love the way this kid plays. Maybe I'm biased.
That hit on Pollard was
Tell me about it. I'm telling you.
The one where I thought Pollard's ribs were broken on that. Like, because it was Dak's fault. Like, he laid him out. He had him going high for the ball, and Greenlaw just full speed right into his ribs. Like, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. That's fine, bro. No, bro, speak up because I know sometimes thoughts just come into your head, and so speak up. No problem. This is our show, not mine, bro. But yeah, bro, I love what Greenlaw has done. I love the way he's played. This guy has to be in the Pro Bowl. He's playing like a Pro Bowl cat. I hope the league gives him his respect that he deserves. But I was going to say that people may think I'm being biased. I don't care. But I believe, based on the film that I've seen, we got the best team linebackers in the NFL with Fred Warner and Greenlaw. We got our Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman set once again, dominating, making being a game changers. affecting the team. Like you said, Dak didn't know what to do. He was like a missile. A Fred Warner punching the damn ball out. A Pollard, a big ass lineman. I forgot which lineman, defensive lineman it was that, scooped it up before it went out of bounds. These guys came to play because all they heard, Pete, is how great the defense of the Dallas Cowboys was. How fast, how strong, how many sacks. The Dallas Cowboys defense is a turnover machine. They're the number one defense. That's all the Niners heard. And the Niners had to make a statement and punch them in the mouth. Every boxer feels ready to go until he gets punched in the mouth for the first time. And they're like, oh, crap. Here we go. And that's what happened. Dak came in. He said it himself. They game planned well. They had a great execution in practice. Everything went well until they got popped in the mouth by the San Francisco 49ers. And then the Cowboys shriveled up. Listen, bro, 25 seconds to go into the half. They have the ball. They gave up. They kneeled down. They had all 3 times out, and they kneeled down. They didn't even take a shot. You know what it was? I bet you anything. Mike McCarthy did not want Dak to throw another interception and give us a field goal. That's why they kneeled down. That's why they kneeled down and took it into the half, because they did not want Dak, out of desperation, throw a freaking interception.
Yeah, the momentum wasn't there. The momentum was going the other way.
The desperation was.
Yeah.
So that was a good call by Mike McCarthy. Probably the only good call. All I can say, bro, is Kyle Shanahan out-schemed, out-coached Dan Quinn. Out-coached him. Made him look like a freaking first-year coordinator. And I'm going to give it to you, bro, and give myself a little rest here, but I just want to rant about Kyle Shanahan. I don't understand how people don't like Kyle. And I'm not talking about my boy Dion. Dion likes Kyle. He just wants him to win a Super Bowl. So this is not directed to him. But these are directed to people that don't like Kyle. They want Kyle to be fired. Dion doesn't want Kyle to be fired. He just wants him to win a Super Bowl, which is fine. But this guy out-coached. The offense was exciting to watch. Did you see the Dallas Cowboys offense, how vanilla it was, how depressing it was to watch? And
they were just trying to get
Niners, and they were all over the place.
Yeah, they were just trying to get first downs at a certain point.
And they were successful.
They were trying to get some positive momentum.
Yeah. I mean, we had a sack. I forgot what we had, like a few things already accomplished before they even had their first down, bro. That's how bad it was. They were what, 3 and out, four possessions in a row before they got it.
It was like the 49ers had more first downs in the first quarter than the Cowboys had in, I think they said, like, the whole game. Yep. Like it was pretty silly. Like, but to your point about Shanny, I will say this, and this is what I've said about Shanny over the last couple of years that I've been doing shows, is that I love Kyle. Do I agree with all of Kyle's decision making? No. Like, I think
neither do I.
I've thought in the past that he could do better by just making the obvious choices sometimes, instead of trying to be the smartest guy in the room. I would say that every year he's gotten a little bit better at making some of those decisions. He's tried to rectify the issues that they had from the year before. Every year they do a little bit things a little bit differently, and and it's trying to improve. I feel like this game really, and this season overall, has been his best season of coaching that I've seen, from him. He's been getting the guys out. Like when the 49ers are blowing teams out, gets the guys out now, which we've been begging for him to do. He's actually giving other running backs touches now, other than CMC. He's involving all of the weapons in the game plan. Nobody had more than four catches in this game. And it's involved when you involve the entire team in the game plan. And I'm not quite sure if it's him or if it's Purdy that is doing that. Because I think that the thing that we've always said about Kyle is that, oh, you see all these wide open guys, and why doesn't Jimmy get him the ball? Like I think that it took Brock Purdy to come in there. I think that they have this simpatico relationship, and Brock just sees the openings and he just gets it to the guy. He just gets it to the open guy, the guy where he sees the read going. And that is the difference. And I think that some of this stuff has always been there, and that we've complained a lot of things about Kyle that aren't necessarily warranted. It was just the personnel that he had in there at the time could not spread the ball around like Purdy like Purdy has. So, and as much as we've complained about Kyle, I've always said, I just want him to be better. I just want him to be better. I want him to improve on his decision making, and I just want him I want him to be the guy that wins the Super Bowl for the 49ers, because I do think that he is an outstanding coach. And I don't think that there's a better option out there. So that's all. I just think somebody needs to stick up for Kyle, because I think Kyle is showing his true genius in the roster building, his part in the roster building. Him and Lynch have done an outstanding job. They have the best roster in the league. And Kyle is getting a chance to show his scheme. His scheme is in full on bloom now. There's just, what are you gonna do, brother? What are you gonna do when these guys come just running wild everywhere? It
I
doesn't.
thought you were quoting Hulk Hogan.
I was. It's just, I mean, really, what are you gonna do? And that goes out to the whole entire NFL.
You got to do it, bro. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna
Show
do,
me those.
brother?
Show me those muscles, bro. Come on. There you go. Come on, give me some. I don't know. I love it.
Yeah. But but yeah, it's going to be really tough for anybody. And I know we have the Browns, and I'm sure we're going to talk about them.
We will.
And I really think that they're the toughest test defensively that we're probably going to face all year. But
defensive wise, yes.
Defensive wise, but yeah, Kyle is doing a masterful job. He is putting on a master class of how to run an offense and run it in efficiently, and as well as just how to build a culture. Everybody wants a piece of this 49er culture, and it's just amazing.
Exactly. Jose Villa had a question for us, and I wanted to respond to him. He says, "Hey, Beto, just an honest question: should we extend Brock Purdy next year if he continues to play like this?" I'll let you give your answer to that, Pete. But for me, we got to take care of Brandon Ayuk first. Yes, he doesn't have a fifth year option, but we got to take care of next offseason. We got to take care of Brandon Ayuk, and we have until the following offseason to work with Brock. Now, if Brock wins a Super Bowl this year, maybe conversations change. We'll see. But if he doesn't, or whatever happens, I think that their attention should be on Brandon Ayuk for Brock Purdy. So Brock Purdy right now, and I think Brock Purdy will be the first one to say, "Hey, take care of Brandon. Make sure I have my weapons, and then take care of me." He just seems to be that type of kid where he wants to win. He's competitive. He wants to put the team first. I love how this team is not filled of egos. I understand every man has egos. We all do. But they don't demonstrate it. You don't hear Kittle crying, "Oh, where's my ball? I don't get the ball. Are you getting touchdowns? Debo's getting touchdowns. What about me? Look at CMC. I've been here longer." You don't hear that by Kittle. Kittle's like, hey, I take pride in blocking. I've never seen a set of receivers that take more pride in blocking and do so much more without the ball in their hands than Debo, Kittle, and Ayuk. They take pride. Look at when Christian McCaffrey had the big old run. Ray, out of nowhere, came running from the far left field and made a block.
It's culture,
kids take
bro.
pride. Yeah, the culture. They take pride. You don't have to have the ball to be great. You can be great even without the ball. And I love that culture. So to Jose Villa's question, take care of Ayuk first, and then we'll address Brock after that.
I mean, in a perfect world, yeah, I could. I just think if Brock continues to do what he's doing now, even if they don't win a Super Bowl, they're gonna have to pay him after this season, and they can structure it in a way where they can still get Ayuk in there. I feel because, but if Brock stays on this clip, there's not. I just don't see how you're gonna get through this paying him $900,000. And he's just gonna come in. Oh yeah, no problem, guys. I'll do it again for one more year before you have to pay me. I just don't see it happening. There's got to be. They're gonna have to compensate him. But I mean, they can still figure it out. They opened up 24 mil of cap space. They got season.
40. They got 41, bro, total right now.
Yeah, something like that. It was some crazy amount. But they did that for a reason. Is because you can roll that over to next year.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden, they may be able to pay Ayuk up front and front load it.
Yep.
And and still pay Brock. So they're gonna. I think that it's gonna give him a lot of flexibility. We've got the master mathematician in Prague structuring all these deals. I don't worry. He has found ways to keep this team elite and on the books. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of the situation.
And you brought a good point, Pete. Listen, what the front office has done is incredible. Did they have a few misses?
It's wild.
In the draft? Yes. Did they take Solomon Thomas and then they moved up to get that linebacker Forrester that didn't work out? But we got Kittle that year. He's pretty damn good.
In the fifth round.
Yeah, in the fifth round. And then we get Debo, Ayuk, and Greenlaw in the fifth round. Okay.
Greenlaw in the fifth.
Then you get Hufanga also in the fifth.
In the fifth round.
These late rounds, listen, not everybody hits on the draft. The draft is not something that you can be 100% perfect. But listen, guys, before you think about hating on Kyle and John Lynch and why they got their extensions, even though the thing with Trey Lance did not work out, and even though they gave up 2 number ones, they say 3, but that's bullcrap. They just exchanged 1 with Miami. Yeah. It's 2 and a third.
Yeah. And
they gave that up. And why did Jed York reward them? Because Jed York's a businessman. He knows. But not only are we winning, when you win, you bring in revenue. You fill in the seats. You sell merchandise. He's making money by being successful and winning. He wants to win the Super Bowl, of course, but he has to bring revenue to pay these players, right? So what Kyle's doing and John putting this team together, they totally ripped it apart. It's not like when Harbaugh took over, Pete. It's not like when Harbaugh took over a good team that was not managed right and did what he did. Yeah. Kyle came in and John and tore it down, bare it down. Yeah. They had Brian Hoyer, and they're not.
Cupboard was bare.
Yeah, and I'm always hearing about they should have went for a quarterback. Patrick Mahomes was throwing. He was an interception machine in college. Yeah. It wasn't until Andy Reid got him and made him the man that he is today, the player that he is today. Deshaun Watson was definitely a proven commodity, winning back-to-back championships. But look at the crap that he went through. We would have been going through that. Okay.
And hey, I want to say something about the Deshaun Watson thing. And this is the thing. This is the point that is missed by a lot of people, because quite frequently the 49ers don't pick the guys that we want. It always happens every single season. Like they pick these wild names that we didn't even think of that they would be picking. But why do they do that? It comes down to the thing that we were just talking about in culture.
Yeah.
Like they have a specific personality type that they like. And it makes sense when you look at all the things that were going on with Deshaun Watson. It makes sense that why they didn't take him. And not to say that he's guilty of anything, but that any of that stuff would have even had a chance of going on. That's something that the 49ers, you don't see any of the 49ers guys going through. You just don't.
Yeah.
And though I think the one or two times that it's happened, like they cut bait, they're gone. They don't deal with that kind of stuff. So it makes sense if they just identified this is not a guy that we want in our culture.
No,
that was all.
They're going to they're going to pick character over talent. They made their they and this is why people are like, well, if that's the case, why did they bring in Randy Gregory?
Oh yeah,
he doesn't have issues with the law. He smokes pot, and he had issues with pot.
They don't even test.
They don't even test no more. That was his only issue. You never hear him problem off the field. You don't hear him beating up a woman or doing this, or you don't hear that. There's no character concerns with him. It's just he tested positive back when it was illegal, and he got penalized for that. But now that it's legal, you haven't heard nothing. The Niners will always look at character first over talent. They'd rather have someone with less talent but great character than someone with an amazing talent and bad character. This is why this locker room is so good. Nobody talks bad about each other. Nobody puts each other down. Everybody has each other's back. They're playing
they all work
like a team. They're playing like a college team. They're having fun. I don't know about you people, but all I saw in the game on Sunday night is Niners having fun. Having fun, laughing, dancing, and doing their thing, just having fun. And I wanted to ask you this, Pete, because I'm fired up. I think Larry Kruger or I forgot the gentleman that comes on with him on 8 o'clock in the morning on Mondays. But
I don't know that guy's name either.
Yeah, they were talking about how we haven't seen this type of team since Steve Young. What I mean about a team, like a team that is complete, a team that is fight. Remember back in the day with Steven, we're a wild oil machine. The Niners offense is working on all 6 cylinders. Remember all the little quotes that we were hearing back then? And our team was so good defensively, special teams, and the offense.
Yeah, it's like a pre-free agency team.
Yeah.
Like it's like if anybody, if for those people that are old enough to remember before free agency went crazy, like this is what it was like. You had these top-heavy teams that were just destroying everybody. And like, if a team it was easy for teams to keep their players, and that's what this looks like. It looks like they have such a ridiculous roster that all we were waiting for was a quarterback, and we've been looking for a quarterback, for the right quarterback since Shanny's been here, and we finally got the right quarterback that fits Shanny like a glove. And I reminisce it, and I'm not calling Brock Purdy Mahomes. Don't worry. But what I'm saying is that remember what Andy Reid was before Mahomes. Andy Reid was Shanahan.
20 years without a Super Bowl, bro, before Mahomes.
Yeah, and but everybody thought of him as this offensive genius, but he was never able to get over the hump until he got his guy. And once he got Mahomes, and they fit together like a glove.
Yes, sir. Preach it, brother.
Shanahan has been the same. It's been the same thing. Like he's been waiting for a guy. Now the one like he had Matt Ryan like for a couple of years, and they put together one of the better offenses. They didn't have a complete team. This is a complete team. This is a ridiculous defense, an outstanding offensive weapons. All they needed was the right quarterback to fit into Shanny's system, and I think we found that in Brock Purdy. So now all it's about is getting through this season, doing the right things, and staying healthy. If they can do that, it is going to be it's going to be much that's when you can start comparing the Andy Reid's and Mahomes connection is that Shanny now has the right quarterback for his system.
Yeah,
And that's really what it comes down to.
bro. I'm gonna piggy off of that because you made some great points, Pete. Andy Reid, even with McNabb, he made it to championships, but then he couldn't get over the hump. He found the quarterback, and people look at it yes, Mahomes is a great quarterback. He's probably going to be one of the greatest quarterbacks that have ever played so far. But it's him fitting like a glove, able to execute and improvise game plan. So if Andy Reid calls something and it doesn't work out, or it fails to work out, Patrick Mahomes can improvise. He can get out of a mess, allow a play to develop, and get the ball to another player for a gain of to gain yards or a touchdown. Kyle was always reserved with Jimmy G. He kind of opened up the playbook, but it wasn't open. He was kind of like he wasn't comfortable with other quarterbacks. He was kind of like juggling, trying to. This is why he wanted Kirk Cousins so much, because he knows that Kirk Cousins, whether we think he's good or not, Kyle knows that he can run Kyle's system.
Yeah.
And now he found Brock. Did it fall in his lap? Yes. But Brock brings out the confidence of a head coach and a play caller. What brings the confidence of a pass caller is the ability to be able to execute what you're asked to do by Brock. He knows if shit breaks down and if my plan does not work, Brock will find a way to extend the play, allow another route to develop, and hit the receiver. Why? Because he can process. He can skate the field. He can scan the field and see what is happening in real time. He doesn't allow things to confuse him. He doesn't allow defenders to get him out of his way. He's scanning. That's why a lot of people like to call him a cyborg, AI, a robot, because the way he scans the field, Pete, the way he looks. So if a play breaks down now, is Brock Purdy Patrick Mahomes? No. But what Kyle needs to do and the game plan that Kyle calls with the weapons around Brock Purdy, Kyle feels just as confident with Brock than Andy Reid does with Mahomes. This is why I hate comparisons. Well, if you put Brock Purdy on this team, well, he's not on those teams.
He's not on those teams.
Stop it with what happens if you put him on this team? He's not there. He's here with Kyle, with this circle of players around it, and he's executing to the T. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, this is not the 90s. This isn't the 90s. This isn't 2000s. Like when you just put a quarterback out there and either they were good or they weren't. Like, because everybody's running basically the same offense. Like this is not those days. Those days are over. This new NFL is all about scheme, is all about fit in that scheme and the concepts that you want to run. Like it's not the same old NFL. So when if you have a guy that isn't really a scheme fit, it's gonna be obvious you're not gonna be good. You're not gonna be good, and that's why the Cowboys are so hot and cold, is because they just bring talent in. They've got a ton of talented players. Like, it's not like just because we beat them 42-10 that they don't have talent. They have a ton of talented players, but they're going strictly off of talent. And there's
Yep.
no scheme to be had on that squad. Like, there's nobody scheming guys open. They're just there's counting on their athletes being better than your athletes. But when they
Yeah.
run into a buzzsaw that's 49ers, which is just scheme personified and excellence of execution, like you're it's a wrap for them. There's nothing they can do about it because there's no technique, there's no leadership, there's no culture.
Yep. It's all about matchups, bro. It's all about matchups when you're
Yep.
facing a team. It's about your quarterback can do this, but my quarterback can do this. And it's all about matchups and the confidence that the Niners are flowing right now offensively. They're putting 30-plus points for 8 straight games, 5 this year. But you got to remember last year as well. They're putting 30-plus points. Brock Purdy's humming. He's moving. Kyle is able to do what he needs to do. Like I said earlier, when that penalty hit and Brock Purdy threw it to, I think it was Debo or Ayuk, I forgot who it was. Oh, no, it was Debo. Ayuk got called for a flag, and it was brought back, right? So normally, if a quarterback got lucky on that play and it was called back, we're like, oh, damn, Brock got it beautifully there. What is he going to do now? It's 3rd and 14. Brock's like, I am not Jimmy. I am not Nick Mullins. I am not Brian Hoyer. I am not these C.T. Beathard. I am Brock Purdy, and I'm going to loft this ball beautifully into Debo's hands for more yards. We're going to get our first down. These players play with confidence. This is why no hate on Trey. And if you still love Trey, that's fine. But this is why the players were so high on Brock. It wasn't that they didn't love Trey. It wasn't that they didn't, I can't believe the disrespect for Trey. These players. It's because they saw what they saw from Brock. They know a veteran like Trent Williams, he knows this guy can get me a Super Bowl before I retire. Trey Lance, Brock can give me a Super Bowl. And when you know a player can do that, you're going to back them up 110% because you know now it becomes a possibility. It becomes a reality of winning a Super Bowl with a quarterback like Brock, bro.
Yeah, I mean, and you saw it last season. The minute Brock got his start, all the vets came out right away and started talking about Brock, saying, hey, we've been seeing this in practice. He's been yelling at people as a rookie.
Yeah.
Like,
He's a leader, natural leader, man.
Yeah, Trent liked him from the beginning. And Fred Warner used to talk about him.
Yep.
This was like after the first start. They love this kid for good reason. Shanny he has this little thing where, I mean, he can't talk about him without smiling.
No.
He
doesn't want to smile really too much, but he's holding it back, bro. He's like a kid.
You can totally see it. Like it is probably such a huge sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Preach
it, bro.
For him to have somebody that can finally see the vision of what he saw the entire time. For years, we've been watching Kyle on the sideline, yelling into his headset, cussing people out on the sidelines, just angry. And knowing that guys were wide open all over the place. It's just that Jimmy couldn't make the read. Whoever was out there couldn't make the read.
No.
And now he's got a guy that's throwing the ball before the wide receiver is even making his break. And it's a huge sigh of relief because now he's got somebody that sees the vision. They're simpatico. They're simpatico. And I'm just want to see it continue. I want to see them finish, complete this season. I want to see how far they can go. I'm excited to see it.
Yep, bro. And this is why I tell Niner faithful, don't read too much in training camp. Don't read too much in practice. Don't read the headlines that are happening in practice. All I heard,
Completion stats.
all I heard was Brock Purdy scares me. He's throwing a lot of interceptions in practice. People don't realize. You know why he's throwing interceptions in practice and not in the game? Because in practice, he's doing things he normally wouldn't do in a game. He's trying things out. He's anticipating. He's making throws with anticipation to kind of figure out what he has to do to make it right in a real game. And he doesn't care if he gets intercepted because it's practice. This is why, well, his arm, is he going to heal? Now that's, okay, if you were questioning his healing, that's a good question because we don't know if he was going to heal or not. But to say he wasn't good because he was throwing an interception, he was trying to figure things out. 5 games in, 5 games. Remind me and remind the viewers, how many interceptions does he have so far?
0.
But he was throwing a shitload of in camp. 0? Yeah. How many did Dak Prescott have yesterday or Sunday night?
3.
3. Okay, this guy's a $40 million quarterback that when the ball has to be in his hands, he throws 3. Stephen A. Smith made a $1,000 bet with Marcus Spears that not who won the game, but that Dak Prescott was going to throw 2 interceptions against the Niners. And Dak Prescott said, no, Stephen A., I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to throw 3. And the third one, I'm going to throw it to a backup linebacker in Burks. Because I want to be, I'm a gift that keeps giving. I want to give it to everybody.
Yeah.
Brock faced their defense, who takes the ball away a lot and threw 0. Not to say he's not going to throw an interception. He might not. But if he does, but look at Jimmy G. How many? I think he has like 7 already. 7.
Oh yeah,
in 5 games.
He's a dumpster fire.
7. So stop comparing Jimmy G to Brock. Stop saying that Jimmy G couldn't even hold the underwear of Brock. Brock Purdy elevates this team. Brock Purdy is not a game manager. He's not a system quarterback. He's elite. And his muscles are not with a big arm. Their muscles is right between his ears, his brain. The way he reads, the way he processes, that's a superpower. I don't look at DeMarcus Russell or whatever. I don't know if I screw up the name. The one that went to the Raiders, big body, big arm, peanuts between the ears.
Yeah.
So you know what? It's nice to get the Josh Allen of the bunch, but even Josh Allen makes bonehead plays.
Yeah.
This kid seems to figure things out. Hey, call me delusional, call me whatever you want. I'm an old school guy. If you think 46 is old, I'm 54. Okay?
Yeah.
I've seen Joe Montana come in from Notre Dame in the 3rd round. I see him play before he was the Joe Montana that he become. He didn't look as good as Brock now. Brock is making Montana, when he first came into the league, look like a bust. And I'm not, okay, again, I'm not saying he's going to be a Montana. I'm not saying he won't be. He might be better. We don't know that.
Who knows? Who knows?
It's not a far-fetched to say, but he's showing signs that Montana did. Me watching the Niners back then, starting to get pumped up because I saw Montana improve. I got excited with Montana, and he did not lead us wrong. 4 Super Bowls with him.
Yeah.
Give Brock an opportunity. This kid is doing the right thing, and I'm fired up. Let's you want to say anything else before we move on to the Browns?
Just to that Montana point. This is the thing. Those times were like I was talking about earlier. Those times were different. Quarterbacks the responsibility was not the same. Everything today in today's NFL is largely dependent on the scheme and how the players in that scheme fit. And if you have wide receivers that fit that scheme, if you have running backs that fit that scheme, and can that quarterback navigate that scheme? It's a lot different. But when you do, When you have somebody scheming guys wide open and your quarterback understands the scheme and makes it and knows when those guys are going to be open, it's I mean, it's just it's what we're that's what we're seeing with Brock is that Kyle was already he had one piece of the puzzle already. He was constantly scheming guys wide open. He just didn't have anybody that could see it. Now he's got somebody that's seeing it. And it's just different. Montana would have, I think, who knows? Montana might not have even been as good as Brock in this scheme. Maybe he's not a fit. Who knows? But what we're seeing right now is a scheme fit. And when you have a scheme fit that's this simpatico, that's what's so scary is that you don't know it. Like you have that scheme fit of those two, and then you've got these weapons that no other team has the amount of weapons that the 49ers have. So when you have all these weapons on top of the scheme fit, it's just like, well, how far can it go? Let's see. I mean, I don't know. I think that I still think that we're just scraping the surface of what this offense is capable of. I don't think that we've seen the best.
No.
And that's what's scary.
Brock is still learning. He's still developing. He's still getting comfortable. Kyle is starting to open up the playbook more and more.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, as a play caller, when you got the quarterback that you believe in, that you know that he can do what you want him to do, it just makes you even more better and more creative. It's like if I'm a play caller, if I'm Kyle, bro, and Jimmy's my quarterback, and he cannot execute the way that I want him to, what motivation do I even have to put in more and be more creative? Why be creative if the guy that I have trying to execute can do it? He eliminates me to do what I want to do. Brock doesn't. Brock says, bring it on, coach. You call it, I'll execute it. And together we will win. And they're putting 30-plus points with ease. It doesn't even look hard. It doesn't.
The
people
confidence.
don't realize how hard it is to put 30 points, bro. Yes.
The confidence that Brock is showing and the ease of how he's just not even afraid that there's going to be a pass rush.
Nope.
Like there was a couple of times in the past last year that Brock would feel a little bit of pressure and automatically bail out of the pocket. He's not doing that.
No, he's stepping into the pocket. He's climbing the pocket. Smart.
He's climbing up into the pocket. And yesterday we saw him a couple of times just stay and actually plant his feet and just rocket the ball from there. Like he's maturing. And I know that people think that, you know, he can't have a higher ceiling than what he has because he has limited arm strength and all the other nonsense. But he absolutely can get better. As good of a processor as he is already, he can get better.
Yeah.
As much as him and Kyle are simpatico together right now, they can get better. And as good as a relationship that he already has with CMC and and Brandon Ayuk, it can get better with Debo. It can get better with Kittle. It can get better with the other weapons on the team. Like so that don't think that we've hit the ceiling and that this is as good as it can get. It's not.
Defensively, we're gonna get, bro. People don't realize that raw talent that it has not been brought out yet from Randy Gregory. What this kid has to offer. I love Drake Jackson. I think Drake Jackson's going to be amazing going forward. But this kid, Randy Gregory, he has talent that needs to be brought out. And who else is better to bring it out than Chris Casseret? He's going to play on a great defense. He's going to play alongside Bosa, Hargrave, Armstead. They're going to take him under their wings. He's going to feel part of a group, a team that is going to be amongst, I bet you these guys have bets amongst each other who gets to the quarterback more, blah, blah, blah. We're going to break the bank. If Randy Gregory hits the way I think he will, OMG. This defense already causing recklessness. It's only going to get better. If Randy hits it and with stride and really puts in the work, which I think he will, this defense is going to be crazier than it already was. Look at what we did to Dallas without him.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine what we're going to do. Now, the Browns, you said it yourself earlier, they have a great defense. It's a defense that's going to challenge our offense. But I want to ask just a simple yes or no, Pete. Will the Niners win this game in your confidence? Two-part question. Sorry.
Oh, I think they will. I think that they're going to win. I'm not sure how many points that they're going to score. The Browns have a really good run defense, and
but does Brock be confident in this game?
No. I think that this is the thing, and this is why it's going to be impossible going forward to really predict how many points they're going to score, is because it's because of Shanahan's offense and the scheme.
Yep.
Like, it takes advantage of the rules of your defense.
Yep.
Just think about that.
He exploits their weaknesses.
So it doesn't matter how bad your defense is. It doesn't matter how good your defense is. Whatever the rules of the defense that you play, his scheme is built to take advantage of those. So it's like, the Cowboys defense, it was number one that they have all these athletes. Like they got a great defensive line and all that kind of stuff. But if our offense is built to take that apart and take advantage of the rules of that defense, it's going to make you look silly. And there was a couple of times in that game where the defense completely did not know what to do.
Yeah.
And so the same thing can happen to Cleveland. Like, they're not world. I don't think that they're world beaters. I think that they do have a really good defense. I think that they're much more disciplined of a defense.
They got destroyed by the Ravens, and the Ravens are not that good.
Yeah, but I still think that I think that they have what's the pass rusher's name?
Garrett.
Yeah, Garrett. Like, I think they have him. They got a couple of guys.
They have Myles
really
Garrett, and they have the kid they got from he was in the Packers, and then he went to the Vikings for 1 year, and now he's over there. Can't think of his name. Number 55.
Yeah, I can't think of his name either. But but I think that they got some really good pieces over there, and I'm not worried about the game. I'm not worried about the game at all. Like, I know that they're going to win. I just can't predict it. It's going to be hard to predict a score. Like, just because I do think that their defense, I do think that it's better than the Cowboys. But who knows what this offense, what scheme that Shaney's going to come up with to take advantage of the rules of this defense, and like how that's going to look. So with Garrett, like the one thing about it is that I think Micah Parsons is a very undisciplined player. He plays with a lot of passion and just athleticism and very little technique. Like, but Garrett plays with all of it. He's got the talent. He's got the technique. He's got all of it.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be more of a J.J. Watt type of situation where he's going to get back there. It's not a question. It's a question of what do you do to kind of like to keep it at a minimum.
You run right at him. You don't run away from Garrett. You run right at him. Run right at him. It's the way I would think you would execute a pass rusher like that. You know, as he's coming, run right at him, and then just all the play calling that Kyle does, the misdirections, the way he makes you think. Listen, when you're a linebacker,
over there. Yeah, go ahead.
When you're a linebacker, and you have such a good run game like we do, or a pass game, they're hesitant. When you have CMC that can do both, catch or run, all it takes is a second of hesitation. Is it a run? Is it a pass to slow you down?
Yeah. Yeah. I want to look at. I'm pulling it
They got
up
good
now.
corners. I know that.
I'm not worried about their corners. I don't worry. There's two positions that I do not worry about when it comes to the 49ers offense. Like the cornerback position doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who you got a
Smith.
corner.
Thank you, Luis.
Yeah, it was Darius Smith. It's that and your defensive line really doesn't make because Kyle's scheme literally attacks those two things, the defensive line and it's really all about your linebackers. And and I'm wondering who they have at linebacker. So they got JK Jeremiah Wosu, Koromoa, and then they've got but they got Anthony Walker and another guy I've never heard of. So it might be a rough day. It might be a rough day for Cleveland. Because it's really all about your linebackers against this.
They don't have good linebackers.
They have to be able to, their linebackers have to be able to navigate through all the eye candy and really direct the defense and be able to plug those holes. And Van Der Esch who had had success in the past against the 49ers,
he looked like he looked lost.
He got put in the blender in this game. So I'm gonna have to walk back what I said. I think this might be another.
I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of that, bro. Their offense is garbage. Deshaun Watson might not.
Their
even
offense
play.
is trash.
He's
Watson's not going to even play.
It's going to be the back.
I don't think he's going to come back for this game.
Yeah. So I know they had a bye week, so they had an extra week to game plan. But listen, in any given Sunday, you can lose. I'm not saying that Niners can't lose. But one thing I've noticed with the Niners, they have learned not to downplay their opponent. They're playing each opponent like if they were the best of the crop. If they have that mentality, they have that attitude. The way the Niners are moving the ball, even if we struggle, again, I love the 30 points per game. I do. But I don't care if we score. I don't care if the game is 7-0 or 7-3, a baseball score, as long as we get the W. At the end of the day, it's the W's that count. Yes, it's nice to see 42 on the Dallas Cowboys. It's bragging rights, right? It's like talking shit time. Sure. But if it was 7, if we would have beat the Cowboys 7-3, maybe we would have been shit talking as much as we a lot of us were. But it's still a W. Okay, still a W. So, do I think that the Niners can put 30 plus on that defense? Niners, a lot of people didn't think they were going to do it on Dallas. It's not a far-fetched idea, but even if they don't, I think our offense is good enough to score on their defense as good as it is. I don't think that their offense is as good to score on ours. And that's where it's going to count. If we can put more points than they do, guess who wins the game?
Yeah.
It's that plain and simple. Put more points than the opponent, and you win.
Yeah.
And if you ask me who can put more points on each defense, I believe the Niners. So I'm not worried. Now, if the Niners downplay or, God forbid, an injury, that changes the whole trajectory of anything. But if we stay healthy and we play our type of football, we should go into Cleveland, handle our business, and come home with a W, be 6-0. So I'm not worried I'm confident. I'm not going to worry until I see a bad game, because I haven't. I've seen a great defense. I've seen a great offense. So I'm going to believe and I'm going to trust on my team. They haven't given me no reason to doubt them in any shape, way, or form, at least me. No reason. Why am I going to doubt? I don't care how good the Brown defense is. My offense hasn't given me a reason to doubt. So when people ask me, you think our defense can put 30? Hell yeah, we can. Hell yeah. Nobody stopped us yet. Until somebody stops us, then I might change my position and the way I think. But until then, bro, we're playing with fire. We're playing on all cylinders. This is a team that reminded me of the 1994 team. The trajectory, the way we're beating teams, the way we're doing things. And remember, the 94 team got their ass kicked by Philadelphia 40-8. It was so bad that they pulled Steve Young, George Seifert, and Steve Young was livid on the sideline. And they went on to win. They did not lose a game after that. They won them all the way to the Super Bowl. So we'll see what happens. I think this is going to be a great game. We're going to come back next Tuesday. And me and Pete, we're going to come, we're going to talk, and we're going to break down the Niners and Browns game. And hopefully it'll be something nice to talk about. Pete, anything you got going on your show before we call it a night? 'Cause we have passed the hour mark.
Yeah. I'm gonna try again, like to do. I want to do a pregame show. Been having some issues at work, but yeah, I should be able to do a pregame show this week as well as a post game, and then I will be back after that on Monday. But yeah, make sure that you like and subscribe and share. Tell a friend to tell a friend so we can be friends every day, every week. And yeah, you can find the Niner Fanatic podcast on YouTube. You can find it on Twitter. You can find it on Facebook. You can find it anywhere where you can get your audio podcast. I don't care where you get it, just get it.
And it's in the description below. If you don't want to type it out, just go. All his links are in the description below. Click on it and go. Can't get no easier than that.
Yeah.
Can't get no easier than that. Well, Pete, again, it was another wonderful Tuesday, bro. Always a pleasure wrapping it up with you. I like the name. People seem to like the name. Those PINCHE's, VATO'S.
Oh, yeah, I'm all about it.
Talking 49er football. So people like it. We've been getting good feedback. So we might stick with it. But this is about supporting the Niners Thinking This podcast and the Fanatic podcast as well. Niner Fanatic podcast. Yeah. So make sure to go to his channel. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Show my boy some love. We'll see you guys next Tuesday at 6:30 Pacific, 8:30 Central, and 9:30 Eastern. Until then, remain faithful and go Niners. Peace.
Go Niners.
We're out of here.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.